Aerodrome Finance price update, why we are at critical levels right now. My name is mikemadz. Let's start this video. Before we start the video, as always, AERO community, make some noise. Every comment matters, every like matters, all types of engagement matters. The more people engage, the better. The more people are going to see this video, the better it's going to be for the Aerodrome community. So make some noise, comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Appreciate you. Let's start. All right, let's stop wasting time. Let's jump straight into it. As Aerodrome, as in every video, is at crucial support levels, and we have something very important to cover today, especially regarding the price action, as we are at crazy resistance that is going to dictate here if we're going to break to the upside here, reach new all-time highs, or if there's going to be another dip here before we moon in the next couple months. Taking a look at a couple things here. AERO health check here. Is everything running accordingly in the background? Metrics, all-time highs, TVL, etc. Is there something to worry or not? As I said, the price action, current price action of Aerodrome, and what to expect, which levels to watch, and the most important question here, which I get on a regular basis here: when price top? When is Aerodrome gonna top here? When is it time to take profits? And when do I personally expect the peak of the market cycle to be? So let's start with AERO health check here. As always, if the ecosystem health is not in place, it doesn't make sense to hold the token, and it doesn't really make sense to be bullish on the token price. Of course, basic information here. Taking a look at base, of course, we are bullish on Aerodrome as we are bullish on base, and of course, base here as an Ethereum layer 2 is absolutely winning here. As you can see here, despite the fact that we're not even at all-time highs here, and despite the fact that the entire market currently is actually kind of sideways, choppy, boring phase with a little bit of fear still sprinkled here and there, as you can see here, base TVL is at all-time highs, guys. We are at all-time highs here in regards of TVL. Super impressive. And this just simply shows you here, base as a layer 2 and as an ecosystem has won here and is absolutely thriving. And I personally think here, this is only just the beginning here, with much more room to grow here, especially once retail is back into the market. Taking a look at the ecosystem here, deeper look here in the ecosystem. As you can see, again, as I always keep repeating, Aerodrome is the representation of base. As base doesn't have a token, most people know that by now, Aerodrome is going to be the #1 representation. And as you can see here, we had absolutely crazy, expected personally, as you can see here, a monthly change of over 100% in TVL here for Aerodrome itself. And as you can see, no real competition here regarding TVL, with almost $1.2 billion in TVL for Aerodrome itself. Next thing up, we have Uniswap, and then the mark just gets lower and lower. So as you can see here, no competition. If you are bullish on base, Aerodrome is the safest play, full stop. Okay, zooming into Aerodrome here. Also Aerodrome, super important fact here, despite the fact of the AERO token not being at all-time highs here, the TVL is, guys. Again, this is super impressive. The product is being used, Aerodrome is being used as intended, and the interest here is basically at all-time highs, and especially the funds here, or volume-wise, absolutely super impressive here. And this doesn't represent here the fact that the token price is not even at all-time highs here yet. This will also grow, and this will catch up most probably, pretty sure about that. Taking a look at this, as you can see here, one super promising thing, that the TVL, the total value locked, is higher than the market cap here of Aerodrome itself, and this usually catches up in the future. And this just simply shows you that Aerodrome, the token price of Aerodrome, is simply underpriced at this current stage. Pretty simple. More obvious than that, it's not going to be. And of course, this is going to grow here substantially. Once again, retail is back. And once again, this ecosystem of Coinbase users onboarding here into the base ecosystem, into Aerodrome, this sky is the limit here. Of course, if the entire market structure stays bullish here. Again, the AERO token price is not at all-time highs. This is due to inflation, of course, and this is due to the fact simply that Bitcoin dominance is rising here, and altcoins are not basically at all-time highs yet. But this is just to be expected, especially here if Bitcoin finally reaches its all-time high and pushes above its all-time high, altcoins will absolutely fly, so you have to be prepared for it. Okay, taking a look here at the price action, super important, and levels you need to watch here, especially next couple of days and weeks, in order to gauge here if you are bullish, or in order to gauge here if there's going to be another dip opportunity for you to buy for Aerodrome. Taking a look at the Aerodrome itself, as you can see here, surprisingly here, also for myself, we actually held those lows and we had this massive, absolutely massive move to the upside with over 100% gain. So congratulations to you, especially if you held during all this crazy bearish price action, because in hindsight, of course, it's easy to say, but look at this. Imagine you're witnessing here from the peak here, day by day, your portfolio bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. And of course, this looks like that the project is dead here. Especially to beginners, you simply think it's over, guys. This is over here, I need to sell. And then of course, most people sell the bottom. But of course, what came next here is just simply a reaccumulation here. Big players joining the space, conviction players, because you can only hold the project this far down if you have conviction in the project. And this is why it's super important to know what you're investing in, to understand the metrics here. And this is why I always cover the metrics for Aerodrome, to see if things are running accordingly or not. Okay, so congratulations to you if you held this dip. As you can see here, we are finally above the bull market support band. One thing I don't like here is that we pushed and extended crazily above it without retesting it. Usually that's not the best sign. Of course, it's bullish as the price is higher, but usually in the crypto space, things like to get retested here. Okay, so, but either way, the bull market support band is moving to the upside here. Of course, as the price is moving higher, those moving averages are moving to the upside. So you can imagine once they are a little bit higher here, there's also a possibility of a retest. And this will be the time, your last chance to buy the dip on Aerodrome. Now in the short term, as you can clearly see here, very, very clear, this level here is acting as crazy resistance here. Okay, this level here you need to watch. And this level for Aerodrome is going to be around the level of $1.30 here. As you can see here, as with support and resistance, the more often a resistance is being tested here, you can imagine it's getting weaker, the more often it's going to be tested here. So one touch, two touches, couple touches here on the daily. The more we test this level to the upside, the more likely it's going to break. And for Aerodrome, this is super important. Why is this so important? Because once this level breaks here to the upside, all-time high is going to come like this here. It's going to be most probably parabolic price action, retesting to all-time highs, maybe a slight dip here from the all-time highs, and then the price discovery comes into play. And this is where the profit taking is going to be taking place here, especially for people who bought down here, guys. You need to understand here, profit taking season is coming. Of course, doesn't mean that you need to sell your entire bag, but usually in price discovery, it's super hard to gauge where this project is going to go. Some people are calling for $50, some people are calling for $5. So you need to make your own decision here. And this time right now is the perfect time for you to plan your exit strategy. If you want, I can cover the exit strategy here in the next couple videos in order to help you with that. But again, you need to watch this level right here, $1.30. Super, super important for Aerodrome. Once we push above it, hold it as support. This is going to be the fun, where the fun begins. And this is going to be where most people are going to be finally be in profit, especially, of course, here people that bought, unfortunately, towards the highs here. Now, also a bearish side of things, guys, because we can get rejected here. No question about that. Bitcoin can still dump. We still have elections. We still have many, many uncertainties here on the horizon. So if you are in substantial profit right now, I would advise you to take profit here. Of course, not financial advice here, but if you are in substantial profit and if you're already Googling what to buy with your profits, this is usually the time to take some off the table. Then you're safe here, especially if you get rejected here. And especially if most people are wrong about Q4 being bullish, you are prepared for each scenario. And this is where you play in a position of strength here. Okay, again, not financial advice. You need to understand what you're doing with your investment. But this is what I would personally do, especially after a move here of over 100%. Of course, most people are telling me, Mike, the all-time high is not even here yet. We are not even in price discovery. Why should I take profit? This is usually the time to actually take profit where most people are absolutely bullish, which does not mean, guys, that we're not going to reach new levels. But it's better to be safe than sorry. And there's always the possibility of a big rejection here for a couple months here and then move into new highs here in the next year. This is always a possibility, and if this happens, you're going to be happy to take some chips off the table and to have cash in order to buy the dip. Okay, take a look at the super important chart here, and this is one of the most important things you need to do if you invest into altcoins. You need to compare your altcoins, in this case Aerodrome, to the blue chip cryptos, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Some people count Solana into it, but let's talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and especially for base projects here, it makes sense to compare your altcoin here to Ethereum, as you need to outperform it here because you're not taking on that additional risk for no extra gain. That wouldn't make any sense. And as you can see here from this top, unfortunately, Aerodrome actually was underperforming Ethereum, obviously, as it's higher risk. So in dumpy situations or in bearish situations, those altcoins bleed heavier than Ethereum. No question about that. But since this dip here, and especially guys, since September, since the beginning of September here, Aerodrome actually outperformed Ethereum by 120%. So it made sense to take on that additional risk, and you outperformed the blue chip crypto by a substantial amount. So congratulations to you again here. And this is also a great sign because this shows you guys Aerodrome is not just simply a bleeder against Ethereum, because most projects, actually, believe it or not, are actually just bleeders against blue chip cryptos. People hold it because they're married to the bag, they're married to the community, but actually Ethereum and Bitcoin is outperforming you, which doesn't make really sense. For Aerodrome, that's currently not the case. 120% outperformance against Ethereum here, absolutely impressive. And of course, this trend can move to the upside here, and we can see more outperformance in the future, especially once the real alt season kicks into place here. Okay, so just a short disclaimer about the Ethereum to Aerodrome chart. Taking a look at the most important question here. And guys, to be honest here, nobody can answer that question. We can only just speculate, okay? We can guess, we can compare market cycles to each other, but this is all we can do. This is only my personal opinion, and this is where I personally see things going. Why is that? Because FUD is going to be reduced, elections are going to be out of the way, liquidity will slowly but surely increase, rate cuts will be here sufficiently in place by this time, and the most important thing again here, liquidity is going to be substantially higher during this time, and this is going to be next year, 2025. So the question here, when is the price top for altcoins going to be in? Most probably here next year. I don't expect it to be this year. I personally think next year is the time to be absolutely bullish on altcoins. This will be the time where Bitcoin dominance is finally going to drop slowly but surely, and this will be the time where the price mania, and hopefully by then the retail investors are going to come in, and this will be the time where Aerodrome is going to hit those price predictions I always talk about, $10, $15, $20. The sky is the limit. We have to gauge here step by step how things go. Taking a look at that, my prediction here, it's just simply a guess here. Okay, it's just a very simple guess. The earliest, in my personal opinion, is going to be in somewhere around May area of next year, where I expect to take massive profits here on my altcoins. Now, this can of course extend to later half of the year, especially once inflation, if inflation maybe kicks back up, we'll have to see. It's super difficult to gauge, but this is a rough estimate on where the market cycle is currently. So we're not at the beginning stages. Don't make this mistake, guys. Many people think we're at the beginning of the bull market. Crucial mistake to make here. Many people will get dragged. Many people think we have still 2 years here of run up. Don't make this mistake. Why do most people think that? Because Bitcoin and Solana were the only two basically outperforming the entire 2024, and most altcoins were just simply bleeding and are now just starting to perform. So Bitcoin, keep in mind, ran up from 18K almost to 70K. To say that we're in the beginning stages of the bull market is a huge mistake, which does not mean there is, of course, lots of room to grow to the upside for altcoins. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that, in my opinion, this time frame here, 2025, early 2025, is going to be the time where to pay attention, to take the chips off the table, to leave crypto, to take most of your profits, and to prepare for another bear market. So this is just my own opinion. I can be totally wrong. Of course, I think I get things wrong here. As you have been following me, you would have noticed, but this is only my opinion. At the end of the day, guys, I was one of the only channels covering Aerodrome here, despite this price action, okay? Look at this. This price action here, all covered by me during videos. Most content creators left, were bearish, were claiming that inflation is too high, etc. I was still covering it. Why? Because the metrics were still healthy. And again, my Coinbase thesis is just simply super solid, and I see massive growth potential here for Aerodrome and for the entire base ecosystem. Okay, let me know your thoughts below. Do you think I'm right? I'm wrong? What is your price prediction for Aerodrome? Hit a like, support me, I support you. Pretty simple. Until next time, hopefully next week, and let me know which other projects to cover, because I need to diversify my content here as I have become only Aerodrome channel right here, okay? At the end of the day, guys, be bullish on yourself. That yields the most returns. Do your own research, super, super important. And the most important thing is, as always, don't get wrecked.
God given, not from blue tops like Mars Simpson, just hard discipline, pot simmering, cooking up, no rocks in the pan, watching the plan form in the sand, bidding castles out of thoughts in our head, late nights, no sleep in my bed, trying to see my dreams manifest. Look at that, now look at that, we nice. Put the past on ice.